What exactly is the essence of the company?
The essence of the company, I would say, is to supply the manufacturers of the product for which we make our product the best possible material that they can get anywhere in the world. That's the essence of the company. That has been the essence of the company since my father started it. That's the way he thought about it. That's what he conveyed to us, and that's what we continue to try to do.
But there's a story that you tell about the time that you discussed with your father getting a scholarship for playing football. I was wondering if you could relate that to us.
I'd love to. I think the story has a lot more meaning than it just. It is a funny story, but the crux of the story is that my father worked so hard all his life. Okay, that he never grew up. He never had a childhood. So therefore, what he did was, while I was growing up, while I was playing football, to him it was just a sport. Even though he was a tremendous supporter. You know, my mother tried to stop me from doing that with the fear that I'd get hurt when I was in the 8th grade, and my father said, "Leave him alone." So, and then when I went on to high school, and as I was getting into my senior year, I was receiving a number of calls from colleges, and my father, home from one of his trips in Cuba, turned around. We never spoke English, incidentally. Everything was in Spanish. Turned around and said, "Who are all these people calling you?" And I said, "These are people from various schools, from the athletic departments and so on and so forth. They want to come down here." And he says, "And what do they want?" He says, "They want to offer me a scholarship." And he says, "A scholarship? A scholarship? What does that mean exactly? What kind of scholarship?" I said, "That means that they'll pay for my school for 4 years. They'll pay for my meals. They'll pay for all my school supplies, everything. Plus, they'll probably give us about $15 a month in laundry money or something like that." He said, "And what exactly is this for?" I said, "This is so that I play football there." He said, "Well, let me understand this." He said, "Are you telling me that these people are going to give you something that is worth, I don't know, $10,000 or something like that for you to play this silly sport?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Confirms my belief. This is the greatest country in the world." And I'm going to tell you, I want to expand on that a little bit. He got into this so much that it was the first time that he actually went to one of my football games in my senior year, and he went to a couple of them then. And whoever came in to recruit me, one of them being Coach Graves while he was at Georgia Tech, he actually would not let them take us to dinner. My mother would have to make dinner at home, and the coach would come to our home. Okay, so that was very it was quite an impressive thing for me.
Did you envision yourself as eventually taking over your father's company, Oliva Tobacco?
Absolutely not. I had no desire to work with my father. I had no desire to enter the tobacco business or the tobacco industry at all. None whatsoever. My dream was to study engineering, to get involved in computers, which I did. Yeah, I did. I got my degree was in industrial engineering, and I went to work. I'm sorry to say, I went to work for Honeywell for 30 days only after they spent the money on getting me a secret clearance and all that. But I found out real quickly that I didn't want to do the what was the structural industrial engineering thing at that time, and so I very quickly got involved in a computer company called Data Communication Services, which back then was at the start of the computer things, and so we sold time in Houston, and I was in there. Did very well for 2 or 3 years until they finally parent company bought us out, and they wanted to move me to Houston, and my father put on a big charade about going to sell the business if nobody was interested in it, and so he did a hell of a job. He's a better actor than I am, I'll tell you that right now. Okay, and I told him, I says, "No," I says, I'll come in here and I'll try it out. And it was the best decision I ever made. He was right. I was wrong.
What was your impression when in your first weeks at Oliva Tobacco? What was it like? Similar to your previous thoughts, and what was different?
Oh, I had been working on and off with him, not voluntarily, but I had been working in the business during the summers and so on and so forth. So it wasn't like a real great surprise. I think the tough part is working with your father. I think the tough part is he's a very controlling person. I'm a very controlling person, and he's I have a tremendous respect for my dad. Okay, I always have. I traveled with him for years and years and years. I never saw him do anything that I don't think could be publicized. I never saw him do anything that I wouldn't say right here on camera. I mean, he was an extremely respectful man. He respectful not only to his peers but to my mother, to us, everything else. So
sometimes he would work all night to get orders ready to sort tobacco and whatever, and you would join in that. How did you feel about that kind of working?
Well, I was pretty much used to work. I didn't necessarily agree. I think my father liked to work. Okay, I think he liked the act. That was actually his exercise. I mean, I think he really loved to work, and I think that my feeling was that there was a better way to do it. I was going to try and do it. Unfortunately, back then it was his way or the highway. So, and he started it. So.
When you first started, we didn't have Bill Gates and Windows and Steve Jobs and Apple, and so a great deal of your work had to be done on paper. How did the business change when computers were introduced into the business?
Our business changed dramatically. Before 1979, which is when we actually got our first Radio Shack TRS PC, okay, our business would close on October 31st. We would start looking at every single bit of inventory we had, and my father would personally reprice that to a market value he thought it was. We never finished closing our books, okay? We worked through December 31st. We worked through Christmas Eve. We worked all the way. We never closed our books till December 31st. The first year that we put in computers, which my father backed me up on very strongly, we closed our business on October 31st, and at 7 o'clock at night, we were done. So it influenced us quite a bit. And he, for his age and for his background, had no resistance to that change. He supported it, and he was very strong. He was my strongest ally. I can tell you that.
So actually, the use when you went into the computerization, your profit was enhanced, and certainly the number of hours you had to spend decreased. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, the number of hours we had to spend doing what I would call busy work decreased. So I think we got a lot more productive work done. Our hours didn't decrease. I just think we got more productive work done in those hours.
You put a lot of emphasis on physical fitness, and you spend a lot of time working out and your diet and on your strength and swimming and so forth. How essential is that to a person who spends the majority of their time in front of a computer?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, to me, this is not a hobby. This is a way of life. I do it when I'm on vacation. I think you can become addicted to it. If you have to become addicted to something, I think that's a good thing to be addicted to. And I think it's great for my mental fitness. The older you get, the less you can do so. I mean, you just got to kind of live with that. But I try not to miss. I try to do it for mental fitness.